everybody, and welcome to today, a podcast from this studio, which is really the first impromptu podcast that I've done from the studio that we're calling the Triangle. Thanks for joining me here at the Triangle. Hope you are having a fantastic Wednesday. I guess is what day of the week it is. Wow, already on Wednesday. 4th of July really screwed up this week. We got a lot to do, folks, a lot to cover, and thank you for joining. Hopefully, you can see everything. I've got somebody watching the comments back there over my shoulder. They're going to be watching the comments on the Facebook page. If they weren't planning on doing that, they can hear me saying this now, and they will do that. So thank you for joining. I have no idea if we're getting in any viewers. I can't see those numbers. Oh, actually, I can. I think we've got 25 viewers. So let's start talking about what we're here to talk about, because the OMMA and the OBNDD are already on the warpath, and the OBNDD is utilizing all of the new powers granted it in the last legislative session to drop the hammer on all Oklahomans and really put you all in a very bad position. And we've known that the supplemental application was a big problem, but now they're going to be requiring it for everybody on renewals. They're also requiring the in-person meetings so they can have an interview with you. All things that, given the reefer madness direction of that agency, we got to be wary of and be careful of. And I wore this shirt specifically today for Mark Woodward at the OBNDD, so he would understand that the reefer madness of the OBNDD really has got to change, because if the attitude doesn't change, then we're going to continue to fight back, and we're fighting back on Monday, and we're going to be talking about what we're doing on Monday here in just a minute. In fact, let's go ahead and talk about Monday. Monday is a very important day, folks. Awesome. I'm being told we're good. We're getting comments. Y'all do me a favor. Drop me a message. Let me know where you're at today. How was your 4th of July? Shoot some comments in here. Happy 4th, Courtney says. Look, there's Courtney. There's Anthony Smith. Looks perfect. Sounds perfect. Well, you know, it better, Anthony. You're the one. I'd be calling you going, dang, Anthony, what happened? Dakota, thank you. Yes, it's an amazing view. Look at the awesome view that we have from here. That's the Drillers ballpark out there. They are out there practicing just a little bit ago. The deck is right above me. And speaking of, write this down on your calendars right now, and I'm going to throw this out there. July 27th, Thursday, July 27th. Alex is going to do a promo for this. Grant's going to do a promo for this. July 27th. We're going to put a link up. Grant's going to get a link up for you to sign up. But we are going to do an open house grand opening / the first ever pint night for Tricome is going to be on July 27th on the deck and at the ballpark on July 27th, starting at 6 p.m. Starting at 6 p.m. Is when we're going to start that, because the game starts at 7:05. We'll put all the details out there. We're going to have tickets for the outfield, so we can hang out there if you want to watch some baseball. We're going to be getting tickets and providing them. We're going to be doing the pint night. This one's going to be open to everybody. Everybody that wants to come out that night, come out. We're going to have an RSVP thing, but we are going to do our first pint night on July 27th, right above me on the deck, and right behind me at One Oak Stadium, which I think should be called Jackie Robinson Stadium, I think. But we're going to talk about that another day on a podcast. But anyway, that's what's going on that date. And let's talk about what's going on Monday, though. So before that, July the 10th, Monday morning, 9 a.m., big hearing in front of the OMMA. I've got a client, Gold Leaf Acres. We are set for hearing on Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning. You remember the last hearing, they canceled it, saying that there was a conflict between the courts over there, and they didn't want to create an issue. What we all know it to be is they don't want me examining their witnesses and butchering them on the stand, which is what I'm going to be doing Monday at 9 o'clock. You are not going to want to miss that. Be there, be there, be there, be there, be there. Monday at 9 o'clock a.m. My entire office is going to be there. We're closing for the day. This is a big one because that's not all we're doing. besides you seeing me go toe to toe with Captain Kangaroo, maybe they will replace him and we can get a legitimate judge and get a legitimate hearing. I doubt it, but crazier things have happened, I guess. But that's not likely to happen. So we'll go see Captain Kangaroo and see what plays out there. But after that, we will be going across the street to the Oklahoma Supreme Court building, and we will be filing 2 cases, maybe 3. 2 are for sure. The third one is uncertain. It depends on whether or not we can get it drafted. But we are going to be filing on SB 15X. That is the OB&DD $2,500 license fee that is being filed on Monday, the 10th. Good news is that ORCA, in their filing of 2179, have been granted a hearing in early August. That's amazing news. The arguments are very, very similar on 15X to what they're arguing in 2179 because it's essentially a tax argument. And the same logic and the same NAFI case that they cite applies. I think that their case should prevail. I think our cases should prevail. And we're filing a second case because if we are all correct, if 2179 is a tax and Senate Bill 15X is a tax, the $2,500 license fee bill, then the OMMA metric tag is certainly a tax because it raises revenue. It is not a fixed fee. It fails to meet all the other state requirements. And the state has given us fantastic arguments to use and say, this is of such statewide concern, courts, that you need to take this issue up on metric. So again, we're going to step in front of the case I already have, and we're going to file a new case in the Oklahoma Supreme Court directly there, the same as what ORCA did on 2179. This will be on 15X and on the OMMA things and the metric tags. So people ask all the time, how can you help? He's going to punch up a thing, Justice for All Legal Defense Fund. That's what we have set up. It's a 501c3. We need your help and support. Do you want to see how you can donate? Join the fight right there. I can see it on my screen right now. Just type in www.jforall.org, make a contribution. I mean, it starts out as little as $10 a month where you can really start helping us fight these fights. We really need your help. So please go to Justice for All and join the fight because that's what we're doing here. We're fighting the fight. We're going to fight it on OMMA. We're going to fight it on metric. We're going to fight it on the $2,500 license fee. And I'll go ahead and tell you what the other one would be. The other one would be on what I'm about to talk about, which is the supplemental application BS from the OB&DD, and the fact that they've not adopted a single regulation related to this. They've not done anything that tells anybody what they do, what things mean, what the explanations are. Why haven't they done that? Because they don't want to have meetings, because they like to lock people out of buildings like they did when we were over there for them trying to make rules and them locking people out of the building. So that's why OB&DD doesn't want to do anything, and they don't want to make rules. Well, the fourth lawsuit or the third lawsuit, and that's if we don't file a counterpart to 2179. I've got some clients that really want to jump into that one too, but I don't see the need. I think it's briefed well. But anyway, the big issue is this form right here. And that's why we're going to jump into talking about the programs that we have in just a minute, because we have problems here. And if you guys have not seen this and seen what the OB&DD sent out, the OB&DD sent out an email letting everybody know that this supplemental form is going to be required of everybody with these renewals. And the supplemental form is a huge, huge, huge problem, which we must advise our clients and anybody that we're helping process this not to sign the form as proposed. And again, that's why the renewal process stuff, I think you got something up there you shouldn't want up there on the screen, bud. There we go. Okay, he's popping up the Justice for All stuff. Get the Justice for All thing down and change it to the other one. And I think we're all good on all that stuff. Look at all this cool technology. Look at this stuff. No, you're back on that. Okay, yeah, stay there on that one. But we're going to talk about the supplemental form. And if you've not already looked at this thing, let's look at it real quick, because we have some major, major problems in there. And on the first page, the one thing I wanted to show you is under step 3. And if you look at step 3, If Alex will highlight it for you, notice what it says, quote, upon timely return of the preceding supplemental application packet, OBNDD will schedule a face-to-face interview with all applicants on the application. OBNDD wants you to sit down, everybody. This, upon the timely return of this, will schedule, not may schedule or could schedule or possibly might schedule. That's, it's lawyers that matters. It says will schedule. That means they are going to schedule a Q&A meeting with you. And I'm sorry, but let's just go back to Basics 101 when a cop starts asking you questions. That question is, can I have my attorney present? Except for you shouldn't be asking that question because you should already have an attorney. You should already be signed up for a plan. And if not with us, with somebody else, to make darn sure you're not showing up to the OBNDD without representation, or they're not showing up to interview you without representation. Folks, sitting down with the OBNDD, who has the mantra of shut you down and kill you and eat you, from all indications from everything that they're doing, that is not something that, you know, is widely advisable for you to do. And then look at step 4, because this kind of ties things in too. Look what step 4 says. At the completion of the interview, OBNDD may grant the registration, may grant it, or conduct a further criminal and or administrative investigation. In other words, the things that you say in that meeting will be used against you, can hurt you, and frankly, they shall be used against you and hurt you, because that's why they're saying that stuff. And folks, their job as law enforcement at the OBNDD is to trap you into saying things, because that's just seems to be all they know how to do, and all they want to do is just entangle you in things. They're not out there to help you. And why did we do what we've done? Well, one, I've been asked 1,000,000,002 times for these renewal programs. And so we created them because y'all have been asking for forever and a day. And I tried for years to get people to create them. And we were able to get this stuff pulled off fast and set up what we've got set up. So that's why we've done this. But in talking about what we've got going on, we have a renewal program because, frankly, the OMMA is not there to help you. The OBNDD is not there to help you, and people need help in getting this stuff together. Look, it used to be that we could do these things on our own, and people did. And quite frankly, it was never advisable, in my opinion, because I saw people set them up incorrectly, like sole proprietorships in the early days under their personal names as opposed to a business name. All kinds of mess ups there that created all kinds of problems later. But at this point, folks, what you need is you need help. And what we have set out to do is to provide a mechanism for everybody that wants access to have a monthly affordable plan and access that's going to provide you all the things that you need to have in order to make sure that you're going to be compliant with all these folks when it comes time to be meeting with them. And let's look at some of the stuff that it requires, because this is where it gets really concerning. On the second page is the supplemental application packet. And it talks about the checklist. And let's look at the checklist. First of all, it says the affidavit. And we're going to go through the affidavit, and we're going to talk about that. Can we get that brought up? Yeah, bring that up. Go to the second page of that. Hang on, folks. Give us just a second. We're going to get that brought up. I'm not sure why we went away. Okay. Yeah, so we get the second page, and down there on the checklist, you can see, first thing's the affidavit. We're going to talk about the affidavit specifically here in just a second. And what my note says is you can't sign it as is. Why can't you sign it as is? Well, we're going to talk about the affidavit and talk about why you can't sign it as is. The next thing it says is articles of incorporation, operating agreement, and all management agreements. And look, at the end of the day, all this stuff is going to be reviewed meticulously, both by the OMMA and by the OBNDD at this point. Your documents need to be put together, and you need to get somebody to review them to see whether you're good or you need something to be done with those documents to get them in line with what the OBNDD does. And again, yeah, I'm promoting our plans because the plan has specifically in that what we've called the diagnostic and structural review, which has me or one of our attorneys going through and looking at these documents to make sure that you don't need something. And if you do need something off of that stuff, then we offer, as if you're part of this plan, discounted legal fees. And quite frankly, unfortunately, I'm going to estimate that most of you are going to need some work if you weren't already with this firm. Because, well, heck, I could say that if we drafted your operating agreements and bylaws back in 2019, it's possible that we might need to amend things today, even if we did them, because the law has changed substantially, and we need to make sure that all these relationships are laid out correctly the way they want them laid out today, not the way they wanted them laid out in 2019 or 2020. We need to make sure that all the management agreements and all the other stuff that they're talking about here on this supplemental application package checklist is going to meet their standards and meet the current requirements of Oklahoma law in 2023. So this is all important stuff coming up, folks. And here's the thing. October, end of October, whatever the 31st, October 31st is the renewal deadline for every single OBNDD license. That means between now and October, we got 10,000 of these things to process. I mean, maybe not everybody hires us, but that's what kind of team I'm putting together, is a team that can really help handle as many applications as we need to have specialists on staff to answer questions when people call that are on our list of renewals. We're going to be the ones that are sending you, hey, this is all the stuff that we're going to need. These are all the things that we need you to put together. We're going to be hammering you for this stuff and be your little reminders so you know what you need to get done. That's why you need to sign up for these packages. You need to sign up for them now because, quite frankly, if we get hit with enough of them, we might have to close this. And I don't, frankly, that could very well happen. By the way, we're also hiring OMMA former inspectors and experts in the area of inspections for Tricom Consulting to go out and do on-site inspections for the clients that want those. All, again, offered at discounted prices if you're already in one of the plans, which the plans are all for your OMMA and OBNDD renewals, which are annual and you need help with every year anyway. So we try to break it down in an affordable monthly fee with added bonuses because I like to make sure that I feel like we're doing the right thing. But things that we would be looking at is all your operating agreements or your articles, your management agreements, et cetera, to make sure you're lined out. The next thing that they're going to require is the self-assessment. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second because it's terrible. Then it's got the employee identification forms where you're going to identify every one of your employees. You know, part of the thing that we're going to be putting out, if you're part of our subscription plan, is requirements for what those employees must meet, how you can get exceptions to those requirements if they have any of the issues related to criminal convictions, et cetera. But all of that reporting is going to be required. Badging and stuff is coming very, very soon. OMMA is about to adopt all kinds of new regulations, or at least they should be adopting new regulations given new law has passed. They should have already done it. To be frank, but they're not very fast and efficient. So, they're busy about knocking you guys in the head for stupid things like the hearing that we're going to be there for on the 10th. And folks, you really want to be there on the 10th. I cannot urge that enough. Be there because you're going to want to be with us to the march to the Supreme Court to file those cases. And again, we really could use your help in Justice for All. I really could use some donations coming in there. Again, it's a 501c3. By the way, if you want to be a sponsor of the podcast, we could certainly use some sponsorship. We need your help, folks. And this is me just laying it out for you. Okay. And then going through this, we have the certificate of occupancy. And the certificate of occupancy is a huge, huge problem with the fire marshal, et cetera. And folks, you're going to need help navigating this process and navigating extensions, et cetera, related to those. And look, let's be clear. Any work that's going to have to be done to get you compliant with the fire marshal is not going to be covered under this package. But you can buy yourself a discount for work you might know is going to have to be done if you're going to run into that problem. And you buy it now for all your licenses. By the way, I forget to mention this, and Grant's going to create a link for it. If you've got multiple licenses, there is a discount of 33%, I am told, 33% discount for every subsequent license. So if you've got one license, sign up for the package that you want, and then every subsequent license under that, as long as there is common ownership in those, then they are also subject to the discount And we do that because it's really the same process of dealing with you all and those things. And I don't know, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe we'll discontinue that, but it is now. And if you sign up now, it will be there. I'm not going to undo something I said I would do. So I would sign up now. Also, we had a limited time, and I'm going to have Grant create it. But we had a limited time discount code. Does that discount code still work, Grant? Midnight tonight? Okay, till 11:59 tonight, the discount code that gets you 25% off for life on the package that you sign up for is still good. And that code is July, July, the number 4, launch. Launch. July 4 launch. Even though it's July 5th, July 4 launch will get you 25% off of the package. You go to sign up, you go to trichomerenewal.com, Andy. Trichomerenewal.com. He's gonna put that code in there and put in the link to, it's trichomerenewal.com. It's in there. The host has put it in there. Let's continue talking about things. So, okay, let's talk about the supplemental application affidavit and why we have problems there. And you can't see this, but go ahead and go to this, Alex. Go ahead and go down to the affidavit, to the next page, and 2 pages down, whatever. Yeah, 1 more page down. All right, and let's look at the second paragraph that starts with, I understand that I am required. Notice what it says. The first one's I blank am applying for the registration of a medical marijuana business with the state of Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs Control. Well, who's applying for it? Well, first of all, the I in that thing is the name of the business. That is who is applying for that. What they want you to put is they want you to put your name personally. But the applicant for the OBNDD license is the license is issued to the business. I don't know why the OBNDD doesn't seem to understand that. But when we send this form back in for our clients, we send the form back in edited, and we don't agree to that registration language that says that you are the person, entity applying. You are not. You are an owner of the business that is applying. And that comes into very big importance here in just a little bit, and we're going to talk about why. The next thing it says on the next one, if you look at it, it says, I understand that I am required to notify OBNDD within 14 calendar days of any change to information on the registration pursuant to those things. That is incorrect too. The business is the registrant. The business is required to provide that information to the OBNDD. And you, as the individual owner who have liability protections in an LLC for a reason, should not be executing a document that says you have a personal obligation to do something that you may not even have the information to do. And the example I would use of that is if you are a 5% owner in a company that is 95% owned by somebody else and they take action which requires an update, how would you even potentially know unless they tell you that? And perhaps in your management agreement, you are a silent partner that doesn't handle the day-to-day operations, which for whatever reason, OBNDD doesn't seem to think is legal. Well, I'm sorry, OBNDD, you're incorrect on that. You'd say it's a straw owner. We'd call that a minority owner that doesn't have managerial control, a common business practice, and used in, I don't know, every corporation that's on a publicly traded stock exchange. But anyway, I digress. OBNDD, I don't have time to educate you right now. I'm trying to educate these fine folks. So that's why you can't sign that, because I'm not required to notify you. The business is required. Then go to the next thing. Then it says, they want you to, and this is what it says, quote, I attest that the ownership of this business meets the minimum requirements for a medical marijuana business licensure as defined in that statute, and at least 75% of ownership interest is owned by Oklahoma residents pursuant to that statute. Well, first of all, and second of all, and third of all, did any of you guys get a law degree that I'm not aware of before you signed this document attesting that you meet some legal definition that you have no competency to testify to? What you can say is, I believe, or I think, or based on my review, etc. But how can you attest to something that you don't have the legal education to be able to say? Because I'm going to be quite honest with you, their rules and regulations are are as clear as mud in a lot of regards, and you can't do that. Anyway, moving right along. The next thing is I attest that my ownership interest in the business is applying as blank percent. But this is the next sentence that's the problem. And it says every application must have an affidavit from 100% of the ownership to be complete. Is that something you're attesting? Why do you need to attest to that? I'm not sure why you need to attest to that. I just thought that was funny that the OB&DD wants you to attest to something that I don't know. It just seems stupid. The next thing is they want you to attest to what some statute says. Okay, the language needs to be fixed. But then it gets into real big problems. Then it says, the next one, I understand that Oklahoma law does not allow for straw ownership wherein a person is recorded as an owner in name only. Well, wait a minute. What the hell does that mean? Recorded in name only. There's lots of people who own things that are recorded in name on a business and don't have any kind of control of the business. OB&DD's definition here in this whole statement makes absolutely no sense. You cannot sign and attest to this when it makes absolutely zero sense. Folks, this is going to be a complicated, long process. Ask the people who have been in renewal with OB&DD for a year and a half or longer. You're going to need help. Get signed up now so we can calculate this and I can get the staff on board to help you all. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be working this all, but I need you. Let me know who all's going to be there because, look, you're going to need this stuff, and everybody's getting the OB&DD renewal coming up in October. Everybody. And we don't do stuff for free. You're going to be paid in full whenever you get stuff done. So just go ahead and get on there. And then we've got you on here. And we know who you are, that we represent you, and that we're going to be helping you because this stuff is bonkers. And go to the next page, if you would, up there. Bring them into the next page. I wrote hell no on the first one because it says, I understand that the registered entity, including all of the owners thereof, are responsible for all controlled dangerous substances held under the authority of the registration until such time as the controlled dangerous substances are lawfully transferred to another licensed entity. What? I understand that the entity, including all of the owners thereof, so you're attesting that you are responsible for whatever a majority owner may do. You cannot agree to that if you are a minority owner. You are agreeing that you are criminally responsible. I mean, you think they'll have this? If they want to bring a court case against you, you think they're going to have your attestation on this form in that court going, well, didn't you sign this, sir or madam, or whatever you gender identify as? Didn't you sign this form? Didn't you know at the time that this was your obligation? So you had knowledge of this. That shows the requisite mens rea, that's the mental intent required to commit a knowledge crime. They're giving it to you right here. No, you can't agree to that. That is not your responsibility unless you are the manager of the company. That's the way companies work. So you can't sign that. The next one I said, okay, it's stupid. The next one I said, hell no again. It says, I understand that the registered entity, including the owners thereof, are responsible for general security and providing effective controls and procedures to guard against the theft and diversion of controlled dangerous substances. Again, as a minority member of a company, you can only do what you are empowered and authorized to do pursuant to the membership agreement or the operating agreement or the bylaws or the partnership agreement or whatever it is that governs your relationship. And if you don't have that in a written form in a very detailed manner right now, that's something that in our review, we're going to tell you you're going to need to get done. Better to get on this stuff now than wait till the last minute, folks, because it's going to be ridiculously hard to get through some of these things. And I guarantee you, OMA seems to be poised to drop a whole bunch of things that are going to require a whole bunch of additional disclosures by every licensed business. I cannot imagine that not happening. I cannot imagine OB&DD not dropping that. It's gotten real, folks. It's gotten real difficult, and they're of zero help. So essentially what we've got to do is run an OB&DD OMMA call center and licensing registration question and answer center based on our knowledge and expertise of what they want and are not willing to provide the information to, and to stay on them about processing these things, because God forbid, we know that them processing them timely is not going to happen these days, but timely now for the OB&DD has gotten some of these things. We're past a year of pending things. I got somebody right now that's pending an address change that's been pending for 8 months. They hired me on today just to send a demand letter to the OB&DD of process this thing. So you can't sign this thing. And then again, I attest that each building at my facility has an adequate security alarm. It's not your facility. It is the business's facility. You can't attest to that. My facility. Again, they're trying to trap you personally. The next thing, I attest that each building at my facility. I attest that my facility has all required fencing. I understand that I am required to maintain readily retrievable inventory tracking records. Again, it's the business that's required to do all this stuff. They want you personally attesting to it, so when they threaten you with arrest, they can get you to shut your business down without due process, and with them just standing at your doorway, threatening potentially to take you to jail for signing forms that you should know better than to sign, because I've told you not to sign the dadgum thing. And again, you go through the rest of this stuff. I mean, I got another one. Oh, here, they removed it. Keep going down. There's one, I like this one. It's right before the signature of applicant, folks. Get me right before the signature of applicant. Keep going down there, keep going down. Keep going down, keep going down, right up above that. Okay, right here. If you needed anything clear, here's what it says. Well, first of all, it says, quote, by signing this, I acknowledge that I may be subject to both administrative and criminal penalties if the registered business fails to comply with any provisions of the Uniform Controlled Dangerous Substances Act found in Title 63 of Oklahoma statutes or any rules of the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs Control found in Oklahoma Administrative Code, Title 475. Look, they highlighted those for a reason. They're telling you, and again, they're going to use this in court. I would if I were them. Going, look, not only did we tell them, we bolded it for them. I didn't bold this on my paper, folks. They bolded it on theirs. All right, it doesn't show up very well on here, but on mine, this whole section down there, that is bold print. The word administrative and the words criminal penalties are in bold. And look, they want you to acknowledge that again, so they can hold that over your head and potentially charge you criminally. And believe me, the OBNDD is telling the Oklahoma Highway Patrol to charge people criminally for issues with a transport log. So by the way, PSA for the day, besides the fact that this is all a PSA, have your transport log stuff together when you're transporting, because people are getting arrested for alleged violations of transport log stuff and getting charged with felony trafficking. Not a joke, happening in Oklahoma. But again, they want you to sign something that says you acknowledge that. And then I love the next one, and I just want to make fun of the OBNDD. It says, quote, this may include a $2,000 fine per administrative violation. Well, OBNDD, that is an incomplete sentence, because that is an incomplete thought, because that is a separate affirm, initial to affirm thing. And so what you talking about, Willis, is what I would have to say on that one. And I just want to point out the stupidity of having an incomplete sentence in your supplemental application. I thought lawyers were drafting this stuff. What kind of lawyers are y'all hiring? Oh, wait, I know. Forgive me, I know. And then again, the last thing, again, bolded on mine. I understand and acknowledge that this document is executed under oath, and knowing false statements constitute perjury, which is a felony punishable by imprisonment up to 5 years. Folks, if you sign this form, I think you're committing perjury by signing the form, because I don't think you can attest to this stuff. And then look, we go to the inspections and the inspection requirements, and like, I mean, it's asking for you to certify things when you're not an expert in compliance. That's why they should come out and do an inspection and help you and let you know what you're not doing right so you can fix it. This is a big problems, folks. So anyway, that's what we covered for today. I hope that helps you. I hope you understand that this is something and I would love to see you on both Monday the 10th, 9 a.m. For both the OMMA hearing, see me examine some witnesses if we get any. Before then, we would love your help in two things. One, if you need renewal help, sign up for renewals. It's on the screen. You can see it right now. I can see it. I got a TV screen right there. Which is really cool. Also, we really need help with the general fight. Please, if you can donate a little bit, a few bucks, donate a few bucks to the Justice for All Legal Defense Fund, 501c3, fully licensed and accredited, and go to www.j4all.com. That's J the number 4.com, .org, excuse me, .org. That's J4. That's, how do you, J, no, J, yeah, J, how do you, J4 ALL. That's a, dot ORG. Is it G? G, H, I, yeah, G, G. ORG. If I screwed up the sign language, I apologize. It's been a long time. But do sign up for that. Do show some support. Do sign up for the renewals, because that's what we're hiring all these folks for. So they need to eat, and y'all need to stay compliant and not get shut down by the beasts at OMMA and OBNDD. With that said, I will be coming live again tonight. Oh, Angie gave me this shirt. Yes, Angie Jones in the comments gave me this shirt. Thank you, Angie. Much love to Angie. You guys see Angie and show her some love. Buy some shirts. We're gonna have shirts popping up. We've got shirts for Monday that are already ordered. Angie's gonna be there on Monday. We've got shirts ordered for Monday. We've got Screw Metric. Do we have Screw Metric shirts ordered? We think we do. We think we have some of the Screw Metric. Somebody says the discount code said invalid. Technical difficulties. All is July 4 launch. Is it July 4 launch? All together, all one word. We had 2 people sign up with it today. July 4 launch. Andy, he's putting that in there as it is. If it doesn't work, Andy, we will. I don't want to stay on here. People don't need to see my ugly face. They've already looked at me ugly, my ugly mug. They got to come see me later tonight. Hey, tonight, the Triangle podcast with Ron and Grant will be coming to you live at 9:00 right here, talking about all kinds of cool stuff. Maybe some of this stuff will get in there. Thank you all for all of your support. It really means a lot. We've had a lot of people signing up. It's amazing. And I'm trying to build the team to make sure that you all are taken care of. Because you all staying in business is what means the world to me. Because without that, I got nothing else to fight for. And so I want you in business. And as I told a law school professor told me, you can shear a sheep many times, you can skin them only once. And yeah, the people are signing up. It's working. So it looks like it's working. So again, sign up. Let us know if you have any questions. With that said, I will be live tonight for the Triangle podcast with Ron and Grant, right here live in the studio, 9 p.m. See you then. Until then, stay safe out there. We're going to take you out with a little music and close this out. Thank you all so much for joining. Please do like and share. It means a lot to me. Sound guy needs some training to do it. How loud? I agree, Ron. We will fix that and work on that. All right, take us out with some music, sound guy.
Says I'm so tired being alone. All the places I've gone, all the things I've been shown, all the friends I've known, still I'm all alone. Oh, 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 oh. Said the time has come when I must go. See my mother, my sister,